Hello, good afternoon to all of you. I hope all of you are doing well. So in today's class, we are going to discuss structure of a C++ program. Now, I guess all of you have been through structure of a very simple C program during your programming classes. Now, this particular structure is a very simple refinement on the structure of a C program taken to consideration the essential features of C++ programming model. Okay, so in case of a typical C++ program, what we have is we have the input files, we have the class declaration, then we have member function definition, and then we have main program. Okay, so these are the four sections of a typical C++ program. Now, wherein what we do is we partition the sections into two categories. One is called as the server and the other one is called as the client. The server has the member function and the class definition, whereas the client has the main function in it. So here what do we do is we make the client interact with the server and get the operation being performed. Okay, so this is a very simple structure of a C++ program, but remember this is a refinement on the existing structure of a typical C program. Okay, now let us move on to the first program that is there, that is my first C++ program. So here what I have done is I have tagged each and every program with the help of a program number. So you'll find out that with each and every program, what I've done is I've placed a program number for your ease, because I'll be providing you separate links for all the programs that you have to execute for C++. So this is my first C++ program. So here what I have done is I've included a header file that is called as iostream.h, right? Okay, now in a typical C program, if you remember, you had included a header file that is called as stdio.h, where stdio stands for standard input output, right, where standard input output is the standard input output stream. So here in a typical C program, what happens is that the C program reads the value from input stream and it places the output in the output stream. So that's why it's called a standard input output stream. So standard input stream and standard output stream. So that's why any function that is capable of managing the standard input and standard output is defined inside stdio.h, that is the header file. So .h here stands for extension header file. So it means it's a header file. So here iostream is also similar to that of stdio.h. So where iostream stands for input output stream. It's a combination of input stream and a combination of output stream. So here, as in case of object oriented programming, everything is modeled in terms of object. So here what we have is we have object being defined of the type iStream or OStream that is capable of helping us in placing the data values into the input stream or the output stream. Okay, right? So just see, it is similar to that of, for now, just remember that iostream is similar to that of stdio stream. That's there, it stands for standard input stream and standard output stream. Here it stands for iStream and OStream. So in combination it's called as iostream. And any function that is capable of managing, or any object that is capable of managing, is defined inside this particular header file. So that's why what we need to do is we need to include this particular header file. So here the first statement that we have is hash include iostream.h. So hash is basically used in order to differentiate between who processes it. So all the statement that starts with hash is processed by preprocessor. As you know that whenever you're executing a C program, there are three different programs that are involved in it. One is called as the preprocessor, the other one is called as the compiler, and the third one is called as the linker. Okay, preprocessor processes all the statement that starts with hash, right? Okay, and performs the desired activity that is to be performed. Once the preprocessor finishes the processing of all the preprocessor directives, then what we do is we initiate the compilation process that is done by compiler. So the compiler converts the entire program in terms of zeros and ones, that is rather understandable to the computer. Okay, so once the program has been converted in forms of zeros and ones, then what we need to do is we need to initiate the linker program. So the linker program links the function call to the function definition. So eventually what we have is we have a package. So likewise here what we have is we have hash include iostream.h. So this is a statement that is processed by the preprocessor. What does it do? It will include what? It will include iostream.h where in your program. Okay, so it will include iostream.h file in your program, so that what we can do is we can make use of the object that belongs to this particular header file. So one of the object that belongs to this particular header file is cout. So do not worry about it, right? Again, do not worry about it. In the due course of time, what we'll do is we'll learn about it. So here this is a very simple C program where you have an include statement that will include the iostream header file, and now what we have is we have the main function. So here just see main function. The return type of main is void. That means main is returning nothing. So you must know to what function main returns. So whenever you're executing a C program, just listen to me carefully. Whenever you're executing a C program execution starts from main. Okay, C program execution starts from main, but it is not you who is invoking the C program or C++ program. So what you do is you send a request to the operating system kernel. So kernel is the core program in the operating system. Okay, so you send a request to the operating system kernel. The operating system kernel invokes the main function, okay, on your behalf, right, and makes the main function perform the desired operation. And then main function, once the execution is over, the main function returns value to the kernel of the operating system. In turn the kernel returns it to us. Okay, right? So here whenever we say that the C program execution starts from main function, it means that you request the operating system kernel to invoke the main function on your behalf. So the operating system kernel, so you request the kernel calls the main function returns the value to the kernel returns it to us. So here whenever a main returns any value, it returns to operating system kernel. So here void main basically means it is returning nothing to the operating system kernel, or what it can do is it can return an integer value. So just remember, any function by default returns an integer value. So here if we do not specify void, then it means that the main function returns an integer value, but you need to always ensure that main function returns a zero value in case of a normal termination, and main function returns a non-zero value in case of abnormal termination. So normally what you do, you must have seen in the literature, normally what you write is you write return zero. So zero basically gives an information to the operating system kernel that the program termination was normal, right? Okay, you can return a non-zero value as well, which implies that the program termination was abnormally done. Okay, so here that is the significance of the return value of main. So remember that main returns value to the operating system kernel, which is interpreted in a manner that if it returns zero, it's normal termination. If it returns a non-zero value, it's an abnormal termination, right? Okay, so in this particular program what I have is I have placed cout, right, and and a bitwise operator and a statement hello world. Now just see here what cout is cout is an object of iostream.h. So cout is an object of iostream.h which will help us place this particular string, that is hello world, into the output stream. Okay, so cout is a object that allows us to place the string hello world into the output stream. Now how does it do it? What does it do? It will initialize itself with hello world, and then it will place its content into the output stream. So that is the way how a typical C++ program works. So here what we have learned is that in case of a typical C++ program, everything is oriented in terms of object. So here what we'll not be using is we'll not be using the standard functions like printf and scanf for sending the data to the output stream or reading the data from input stream. Instead we'll be using taking the help of the object that is called a cout and cin in order to place the data into the output stream or read data from the input stream. Okay, so here, as again I'll repeat it, so hash include stdio.h, iostream.h is the statement that will be processed by the preprocessor. So it will include iostream.h file in your C program, and once the pre-processing is over, then the conversion takes place. The conversion is done by the compiler converts the entire program into in terms of zeros and ones, and eventually linker links the function call to the function definition. So here just see, like C, the C++ program is a collection of functions. So the above example contains only one function, that is main. As usual, execution begins at main. Why execution begins at main? Because just see, listen to me carefully, execution begins from main because main itself refers to the address of the function definition in memory. Main itself is a pointer value. So here main is nothing but the address of the function main. So since the name itself is the address of the function, because in case of functions, you remember that in case of function, the function name itself is the address of the function definition in memory. So since main is the name of the function, so it marks the beginning of the function definition in memory. So that's the reason why execution always starts from main. Now, every C++ program has to have a main function, because every time it will look for a function that is called as main for initiation of the execution process. So that's why there has to be only one main function in your program, because you cannot have two starting points in your program. Okay, so this is very much important for you to understand why we need to have one main function. The reason is that you can have only one beginning point for the program, so that's why you can have only one main function. Now, every C++ statement terminates with the help of semicolon. As in case of C program, here also every C++ statement terminates with the help of a C program, right? With the help of a semicolon. So this is very simple program, but it's very important for you to understand, right? The significance of the various statements. So here, what you need to remember is you need to remember the significance of inclusion of iostream.h, right? You need to remember the significance of main, and you need to remember the significance of the object cout, which is of a type iostream. Now comments, okay, right? As in case of C program, what we have is we have comment lines that can be placed inside the program, that is ignored by the compiler or that is not translated by the compiler. So everything or anything that follows a comment is basically ignored by the compiler. So the double slash comment is basically a single line comment. So just see here, double slash, what you can do is you can use to comment a single line. Okay, comment a single line basically means until unless a new line character or the next line is not encountered, it will comment it. Whatever is there in the next line, it will not comment it. So in order to comment a single line, what you can do is you can use this particular mechanism for commenting, right? So that is double slash. But if you want to comment multiple lines, so what you can do is you can use this particular symbol, slash and a star and a star and a slash. So this is used for commenting multiple lines. So if you want to comment multiple lines in a particular program, so what you can do is you can use this particular notion. So there are two ways in which what you can do is you can comment, right? Again, one is by using double slash. So if you use double slash, only a particular line will be commented. If you use this particular notion, then what you can do is you can comment multiple lines, right? So whatever is placed between either a pair of slash or a pair of this symbol will be ignored by the compiler or will not be translated into zeros and ones. Now here what you need to note is that the identifier cout, the object cout, so this is an object cout of iostream, right? Okay, is pronounced as cout, okay, right? And it's predefined object that represents the standard output stream in C++. So this is what I was intending to. So here what cout is cout is a predefined object that represents standard output stream in C++, right? Okay, so it's pronounced as cout, okay. Here, the standard output stream represents the screen. It is also possible to redirect the output to some other device. So that is also possible because we have learned in C as well. What we can do is we can write to some other file if you want to, right? Like you can perform file operation where what you do is you write data into a file, not into the output stream, right? So that's what we can do in programming. So in all the platform that provision is provided. So here, what you need to remember is that the identifier cout is nothing but a predefined object that represents standard output stream in C++. So by output stream basically means the stream where what we do is we place the data, and what we can do is we can redirect the data into some other file or some other location as well. Now, the next important, the operator, this is a bitwise left shift operator, is also called as insertion or put to operator. Now just see here, this particular operator is being used for performing different operation, right? So in case of C, this particular operator is called as a left shift operator, where the shift operator is used to shift a sequence of bits towards the left hand side by a set number of positions. But in case of C++, this particular operator is overloaded to perform some other operation, that is insertion. So here what it performs is it performs the operation of insertion, or it's also called as a put to operator, right? Again, likewise, the right shift operator here, in case of this is the right shift bitwise operator, it will shift a sequence of bits towards the right hand side by a desired number of position. But here, this particular operator has been overloaded in order to perform extraction. Okay, it's also called as extraction or get from operator. So just see, this is used in combination with cin object of iostream.h, right? So here, the operators, the left shift operator and the right shift operators are being overloaded to perform different operations, where it is left shift is used for insertion or put to, and right shift is used for extraction or get form or get form operator, right? Okay. So the header file iostream.h should be included at the beginning of all the program that uses input output statements, right? Okay. And the return type of main may be void or integer. Generally, return 0 implies normal termination. So this is what we have learned till now, right? Okay, so main function can return either void or it can return either integer. So if it returns integer, it may return a 0 value or non-zero value. So if it returns a 0 value, it means a normal termination, and if it's a non-zero value, it represents a abnormal termination. So in today's class, what we have learned is, just see, we have learned the basic structure of a C++ program. The basic structure has 4 sections. They include the class declaration, member function definition, and main program, where what we have done is we have partitioned the overall sections into two further sections. One is called as the server, the other one is called as the client. The server has the member function and the class definition, whereas the client has the main function. So the client requests operations to be performed by the server. The server responds to the call of the client. But you need to remember that this is the improvisation on the structure of the C program that we have learned during C programming classes, right? Then we have learned about a very simple program that will send the hello world into the output stream. Here, instead of stdio.h, we have included a header file that is called as iostream.h. It stands for input output stream. Okay, so all the objects that you'll be using in the program that pertains to that has its definition in iostream, that has its definition in iostream has to be, that's the reason why iostream has to be included in your program. So here what we have learned is we have learned the significance of including iostream.h. We have learned about the significance of main, why we need to have one main, right? Again, what will be the return type of main, and what is significance of the return type of main, right? And we have learned that every C++ statement, as in case of C, has to be done with the help of semicolon. Then we have learned about different ways of commenting. So we have learned two ways of commenting, that is double slash and a notation that is slash and a star and star and a slash. So here what we are doing is we are using these two notions either to comment a single line or comment series of lines, right? So it's so we have learned that cout is nothing but an object of iostream.h or standard output stream. Okay, right? So here standard output stream is the place for where what we do is we place the output from generated by a given program. So what you can also do is you can also place the output from a program into some other location. So here we have learned that the left shift and the right shift operator has been overloaded in order to perform the task of insertion and extraction. Okay, and the importance of the header file and the importance of the return value. So in the next class what we'll do is we'll take up another example and we'll try to understand the working of a C++ program.